third umpire, critically analyzing Trinidad and Tobago's economic and political realities on how they affect your daily lives. Tune in Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. on The Street 919 FM. Don't just listen to the news, understand it.
A lovely day for cricket. Blue skies and gentle breeze. The Indians are waiting now to play the West Indies. A signal from the umpire. The match is going to start. The cricketers come on the field. They all look very smart. Irapali Prasanna, Gigi Boy and Wadeka, Krishna Murthy and Vishnu Mankad. Them boys could well play cricket on any kind of wicket. They make the West Indies team look so bad. We was in all kind of trouble. Joey Carew pull a muscle, Clive Lloyd get about 3 run out. We was in trouble without a doubt. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Venkataraghavan, Bedi in a turban, Vijay Jaishima, Jayantilal. They helped to win the series against the West Indies at Sabina Park and Queen's Park Oval. 158 by Kanai really sent our hopes up high. Noriega 9 for 95. The Indian team, they still survive. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Janjurani, Solka Abidali, Dilip Sadesai and Vishwanath. They make West Indies bowlers look like second-raters when those fellows came out here to bat. West Indies tried holder and keep voice. They had no other choice. They even tried with Newton Dow, but a shot at the sorry they bring him now. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. Desmond Lewis, also Charlie Davis, they take a little shame from out we face. But Sobers as a captain, he won plenty coaching before we cricket end up in a disgrace. Beatty here that he became a father, he catch out whole hog in the cover. But when Sobers here, he too had a son. He make duck and went back in the pavilion. It was Gavaskar, the real master, just like a wall. We couldn't out Gavaskar at all, not at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all. You know the West Indies couldn't out Gavaskar at all.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to all you loyal listeners. Good afternoon to all those of you who, as we always say, are picking up work this afternoon. Those of you who are leaving work, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to those of you on the commute to and from your house. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to the owners and operators of this great radio station. Mr. Neil IWER George himself. We want to say good afternoon to Mr. George and his family, and by extension his staff, who we cannot underestimate the work they do. We cannot underestimate the work they do in helping us here do what we do on a daily basis. And we say thank you to you, Mr. George, and your staff and family. And good afternoon to those of you in the pavilion. Good afternoon to those of you in the pavilion. And unfortunately, I have to start off by saying, welcome to Gilligan's Island. Welcome to Gilligan's Island. This has to be Gilligan's Island. There is no doubt in my mind that we are trapped on Gilligan's Island. We have arrived. You may have a case in the court of law, but you may already have lost the court of public opinion. And once that happens, something far more difficult than a criminal trial begins to unfold. Because people remember the video. They remember the images of a car riddled with bullets, the headlines, the grieving girlfriend, the mother of their baby girl reportedly paralyzed after allegedly being shot in the spine, a father burying his son, the child left fatherless, the school friends demanding justice. They remember the media briefing. To many citizens, these new headlines sound less like justice and more like a system trying to explain itself away. The police may stand before a judge armed with doctrine, procedure, casualty, and joint enterprise. They may present statutes, technical arguments, lethal thresholds capable of surviving courtroom scrutiny. But outside the courtroom, on the streets, the classroom, in the barbershop, taxis, grocery lines, rum shop, workplaces, churches, living rooms, and across social media timelines, another verdict is already being written in the minds of the public. And that verdict is about trust. Because policing has always depended on something deeper than law alone, it depends on legitimacy, on belief, on the fragile understanding that the power will be exercised fairly, transparently, and with accountability. The moment the nation begins shouting, "We cannot trust the police," the institution enters dangerous territory. Every future investigation becomes suspect. Every statement sounds like rehearsed. Every explanation feels incomplete. Every use of force carries in the shadow of every unresolved wound before it. A police service can survive criticism. It can survive scandal. It can survive outrage. It can even survive ineffective commissioners. But it cannot survive the collapse of public trust. Because once that trust collapses, authority may exist on paper, but moral credibility has vanished in plain sight. See less. Article posted by well-known criminologist Renee Cummings. So, in the news today in Gilligan's Island, Police move to charge Kai. I do not think I have to go over what has been in the public domain for the last 12 hours, 24 hours at least, all over social media, and I think would have been even properly ventilated here. Lawyer for Kai Seeley says that Kai maintains his own innocence. The dad postulates that they are trying to cover up their tales. Investigators acted on the advice of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions after a comprehensive and thorough investigation was conducted into the incident. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said in a news release last evening. Police said Seeley of Bamboo Settlement No. 1 Valsain is wanted for 3 counts of shooting with intent to cause grievous bodily harm against police officers, contrary to Section 12 of the Offences Against Persons Act. The release said, acting on the advice of the DPP, investigators conducted further inquiries and obtained warrants for the arrest of Kai Seeley. Additionally, a warrant has been issued for the offense of manslaughter, contrary to common law, in that on January 20th, and we have the whole thing here. During the news conference at the Police Administration Building in Port of Spain, Guevara said investigators met with officials from the office of the DPP on Wednesday after collecting completed forensic reports on Tuesday. That was quick. He did not disclose who was to be charged or how many charges were to be laid. Meanwhile, yes, stay with us. We're still on Gilligan's Island here. The Director of Police Complaints Authority, David West, told the Express that its investigation into the incident was still ongoing. In a release later yesterday, the PCA said incidents of this nature highlight why the PCA has consistently advocated for the use of body-worn cameras by the police to provide an objective record of events and help reduce discrepancies and speculation, such as in this matter. Notwithstanding the absence of body-worn camera footage, investigators are actively examining other evidence gathered during the course of the investigation to get greater clarity regarding the sequence of events. Police said that both men were killed pointing a firearm at officers. Oh no, that's the home invasion. That's the home invasion. So, the last note we have there from the PCA is that the investigation is continuing to get greater clarity regarding the sequence of events. Welcome to Gilligan's Island, folks. And without even recounting the details, because we have so many versions of this, I don't want to prejudice the outcome of anything. I think that matter is being well ventilated in other spaces. What I must ask is, if you are members of the pavilion, have you any confidence at all in the office of the DPP? in light of all the things we've been hearing since I have been on this program about sufficiency hearings, cases going awry, people walking, late submissions, understaff, and to add a little more confusion to my simplistic brain, the Police Complaints Authority is saying that they do not have clarity on the sequence of events. I want to get straight to my pavilion today. I am not even wasting time on pontificating. How do you feel about the office of the DPP? How do you feel about the office of the DPP in regard to prosecutions? Not only this one, but so many of them that have turned around to haunt us. The number to call is 342-0081 466-5391. The numbers to call is 342-0081 466-5391. How do you feel? Do you have any confidence in the office of the DPP? From staffing, from file going missing, from people didn't know they had to go to court. Tell me the honest truth. Do you have any confidence in that office? Somewhere on Gilligan's Island. I don't know what street it's on. This is Gilligan's Island anyway. Who cares? Anything goes. Anything happens. You call me. 342-0081 466-5391. Do you have confidence in the judgment, in the actions, in the office? Not the gentleman. Not the gentleman. It's an office that is responsible for prosecutions from the state end. Do you have any confidence in the office? That is my question to you, members of the pavilion. Call me and give me your honest opinion. Based on all that you have read, we are not attorneys. I am not an attorney. Tell me your honest opinion. Do you have faith, trust? Is your confidence renewed in the office of the DPP? Especially in light of what has happened in the last 24 hours on Gilligan's Island. The number to call is 342-0081. That's 342-0081 466-5391. We need Skipper. We need Gilligan. We need all the other actors to come out. Because this has to be Gilligan's Island. Marianne. This has to be Gilligan's Island. You give me a call. You give me a call. I do not want to go over the details of what is mind-boggling. I want to know, how do you feel about that office of the DPP? I want to know how you feel about that office of the DPP. So we have Gilligan, we have Marianne Summer, we have Ginger, we have the Professor, we have Skipper, we have Mr. Howell, we have Bunny. All of these people we have the Professor, We have them here in Trinidad. We have them here in Trinidad in uniforms. Call us 342-0081-466-5391. Tell me, in light of all that you've heard now in the recent past, those of you who have had longer memories than I do, how do you feel about the office of the DPP? Is your confidence renewed? Is your faith well placed? Are you strong? Do you remain hopeful? Are you optimistic? We're talking about the office of the DPP in relation to what we have just been made aware of. Because that is the man who makes the decision to pursue criminal charges. That is the gentleman. That is the gentleman. That is the office. An independent office. Give me a call, 342-0081-466-5391. Call me and tell me, what do you think? Because some of us are going to start this story with the police. But at this stage, I don't want to start it with the police. I don't want to start it with the police. I am spitefully starting it with the office of the DPP. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Long time now, I calling and telling people that DPP is very corrupted. I'll tell you why, and you would recall that too. In a high-profile case, there were 8 or 10 people. Israel Khan was prosecuting the acts of prosecute that Israel Khan and the witness had sufficient evidence that they could not do anything. That DPP brought a man from Tobago and moved Israel Khan aside, say this on different programs. That Tobagonian man, he said, send the star witness to the madhouse. When they bring him out now, he said, he's mad, everybody come out free. But if one of them, they have all the evidence, they have done evidence, Israel Khan got everything. When you see that 8 people going down, you will know what I'm talking about. A high-profile case, extra food, right? There was charged for murder, but it was never convicted. But that DPP was so corrupted that he did not want this case to go no more. He did not even want to make the case because of the woman husband, maybe no cool man. A woman had to come and bring evidence that DPP is very corrupted too. I say that all the time. Long time they should get rid of him. Thank you.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of The Street 919 FM.
The number to call 342-0081-466-5391. I want you to tell me how you feel about the office of the DPP. And we're taking the entire story concerning that office. Somewhere on this Gilligan's Island. Somewhere where things go missing. People are not informed. People take up the wrong file. Rat eat evidence. So many things. So many things. That have resulted in very, very, very perverse, in my view, very, very perverse outcomes of some serious criminal matters. People walk out. Some turn around and get money from the state. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. Tell me how you feel about that office of the DPP. Because the last time I was here, I was talking about regulating these things, and that office falls under the GSL, the Judicial Services, Legal Services Commission. Tell me how you feel about the office of that DPP. Do you feel confident, therefore, that good or fairness is going to come out of this? That's my backup question. How do you feel about the office of the DPP? And do you feel that fairness and transparency is going to come out of this? We don't need to get into the rudiments of the issue too much, because I am saying there's so many things unconfirmed flying around social media. You can swallow that or not swallow that if you want to. But I want you to tell me how you feel about the office of the DPP and our chances of getting a very, not just equitable, but transparent and fair process for anybody involved. What do you think? The number is 342-0081-466-5391. Those are the numbers to call, and I want you to call me and give me your opinion. 4 months after he was allegedly killed by police officers during a dramatic shootout in St. Augustine, the case took a shocking twist yesterday after directions were given for his girlfriend, Kai Seeley, to be charged with manslaughter in his death. The directive from Director of Public Prosecution, Roger Gaspard, was handed down hours after the Commissioner of Police announced during a media briefing at Police Administration yesterday that the all clear had been given for a series of criminal charges to be laid in the matter, but refused to say who would be charged or the nature of the charge to be laid. You give me your honest opinion. Call me and give me your honest opinion today. Do you have faith and hope and trust in the office of the DPP? And do you trust that the public, the nation, or more importantly, the family, the dad, the family of this gentleman, they're going to get justice? Good afternoon.
Hello?
Hi, caller. Your device is echoing a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Rolex. Mr. Rolex, for years, over the years, more than 10 years, the DPP been asking for staff, right? And I don't know even, and we know for a fact that it's understaffed. And I don't know why it is, because they're responsible for recruiting staff and that kind of thing, the Judicial Legal Service Commission, recruiting staff to the DPP's office. And they've been understaffed for quite some while. So it would hamper the effectiveness of the work of the office as a whole. And even quite recently, this whole issue came up as regards staff and staffing, and then the question of staff, and you talk about quality staff. It's not just recruiting attorneys to the DPP office. You want the best. You want, as I would say, I remember in the past, you had very qualified and very experienced and very skilled prosecutors. But they no longer, and apart from that, you have attorneys not wanting to get into that area. They don't want to go into prosecuting criminals and that kind of thing. Some of them don't even, on the other side, most lawyers don't take certain criminal cases. They don't go there because they're afraid for their lives. So I am saying that office is in need of reform. It is in need of resources in order to do its work. So I am not going to go too much on the DPP, the office, as a matter of fact. And even about 2 years ago, what happened, you had the question of accommodation that came up, where it was alleged that the then government was actually selecting places to go for him to locate and not taking into consideration certain things like the security of the area and all that kind of thing. So I'm saying that a lot of things have to be done with respect to improving the performance of the DPP, the office, because it's not just the DPP, you have those people under him, right, who work, and so when matters come before them, you think the DPP may say do the final review, but you have the staff there, they would go through, look at the evidence and whatnot, and make their comments and whatnot, and recommendation, it goes to him and he sees what finally. So you need reform. And this country, they don't have reform here, they don't review things. They just do things and leave it and it remains forever. They don't believe that time changes and whatnot. And therefore, we live in a dynamic world, and as time changes and circumstances changes, you need to review, you need to amend the way you do things in order to keep pace with the demands of the times. We don't believe in that. And just recently, we talk about progressive countries. This matter with Starmer in England. Starmer, he's under pressure and whatnot, and called for him to resign and whatnot, but he says he's not going anywhere. And part of his plan going forward, in terms of review, looking at the health service and whatnot, is also a review of he's looking at police reform, and he's looking also at the criminal justice system, the reform of those among other things. We don't matter what you say, just go down to the ground. We put up building, we don't repair them, we don't renovate them, we don't maintain anything. So you just put it there and we have that. You have children's authority, you don't refuse to say, evaluate, to say how this, after 5 years, how this thing is working. Let's review this thing. Let's get statistics. How successful has it been? Does it require some change? And we don't believe in that. You just put it there and that's it, and you forget that and you go about your business. This is Trinidad. And as you call it, Gilligan's Island. We're not keeping pace with the demands of a modern society. We're way behind. And I'm saying also that, yes, the police, you said you're not dealing with that really, but I have to look at that in relation to the DPP. Because when the DPP receives when he gets the file and he reviews the file, the fact remains is that he may advise the police to go and charge and not charge. But when the file goes to him, and when the person is charged, remember you talk about the sufficiency hearing that you spoke about. The master, the court may then say, well, look, listen, there's insufficient evidence, and the people may then be freed. Insufficient evidence, they do not proceed with the matter, so there's no indictment to come. No, indictment, because the DPP would then have to indict the person after, if in fact there any sufficiency hearing, there's sufficient evidence for the man to proceed with the matter before the High Court. You have to indict. And then it all depends on the police. Again, the police giving evidence, going before the court and give evidence in the High Court, or even in the sufficient, when they look at the sufficiency hearing and what the evidence coming before the master, he say, no, listen, this is so even though the DPP may advise them to charge the man, that is not the final stage. It goes before the master will very well say, look, listen, move from here with this thing. And then even when it goes to the High Court, it doesn't mean to say it's going to succeed. The police themselves, the police need of reform also, because when they go there, you look at the way they interrogate the court procedures and whatnot. Are they versed in that? Are they competent to give evidence and to withstand the test of cross-examination, robust examination, cross-examination? All these things come in. Then they say they can't get witnesses. Then people leave the service. After the delay 10, 15 years, and some policemen die. Some policemen leave and go on away because they have time with that. They retire and they go on their way, and that's they leave. They retire at 55. So is that they have to look into the entire criminal justice system to see how they can improve the justice system in Trinidad and Tobago.
Caller, what is amazing for me? Now, I do understand that there's some dissonance. The Police Complaints Authority is saying that the investigation is ongoing and they are unclear of the timeline. That's what the head of the Police Complaints Authority has said. As far as I know, they investigate and hand their findings over to the police, who hand it over as well.
Yes.
If the Police Complaints Authority is saying that in their mind, this remains an active investigation, and they too are unclear of the timeline, that's what they say, how we reach here?
Well, the thing about it is that remember that the police can in fact carry on the two distinct investigation body.
Yes.
And so the police will have completed this, and they completed the investigation, and they have found sufficient evidence to charge, not just, they haven't made put any charge with respect to the police, but with respect to the lady that lady, right? Then the PCA would then have a separate investigation, but it has to go to the police commissioner and then goes to the DPP before going to the DPP. So I think that the head of the Police Complaints Authority is speaking for his office.
Yes,
as far as, yeah. So that is where probably it is. But as far as the police is concerned, and the DPP, well, the police is we have finished our part, and we have charged the police. We went to send the evidence to the DPP, and the DPP is satisfied that there's a sufficiency. The threshold is very low. It is not beyond reasonable doubt. It's a matter of sufficiency of evidence. It's prima facie here or there. Neither here is a thing. So the fact remains is that that is where it's at. That is where it's at. Okay. The PCA is conducting its own investigation into that. Right? So that is where, but the thing we need to look seriously at the performance of the police service as a whole. The question, because the lady who, I think is, you read an article from
Rennie Cummings.
Rennie Cummings, and it's very apt. Yeah. And I'm saying I think she's a criminologist.
Yes.
And she's not looked at seriously in Trinidad. Those are the kind of talent that you need in this country. And these people, Trinidadians, when you hear they're doing things and people telling them things here in this country, especially at the level of governance, if they put their head is where they're going, they don't listen to nobody, you know. Where they put their head that way going and how it hangs to its wing. And I'm saying it's time that you have talented people here. You have people who been, they've been in public life. They've been on different boards and whatnot. They've been advising governments in the past. But the fact remains is that with all the advice that they would have given, we haven't progressed. It's time we move on. We look for brighter minds. We look to people with more than fresh thinking. But all these people do, and a small cadre, a small group of them, they crowd out the young minds, the young brilliant people with new ideas. And that's the thing. But I'm seeing recently that they pack up on the side because you have young people and other people who they're and writing and whatnot and making contribution towards improving this country. But you have a lot of them. They need to step aside. So basically, that is what I would want to say with that. But come back to it. I say that the police, I don't know whether they what level of confidence, the extent of confidence and trust. And as she would have said, it's difficult for you to maintain any sort of respect within the society and to get the cooperation of the people, and in order to deal with crime and whatnot, if you don't have trust, the people don't trust you, and they have to earn that. But as it were now, all we can do now is, because I don't know what is I don't know if you know, I don't know what the evidence is with respect to this matter, what evidence they would have collected and whatnot, gathered with respect to that matter, and what is went before the DPP. I don't know. But the fact remains is that there's a lot of work to be done with respect to reform in this country. A lot of things need to be reformed in this country here. And I don't blame the present, the incumbent. I don't blame them at all. They inherited that mess for 10 years, and some people don't like to hear it, but that's the reality, that's the fact. They have done nothing to really improve. Almost 90% of those institutions, we are where we are today because of that, because of them. So they're struggling. They started struggling with the economy. They had to struggle with the police, struggle with the police, struggle with the judicial system, struggle with everything. Struggle with getting the refinery on. What do you think? Where are we going? So, Mr. Rolex, thanks again.
Thank you, caller. No problem. Anytime.
Yeah.
So, before we go to the break, we have a little time yet. We're going to hear from Senior Matteson. Welcome to Gilligan's Island, sir.
And good evening to the callers.
Pull your mic.
Yeah, good evening to the callers. Good evening and good evening to the callers. I'm listening to you on the radio coming down the road, and I listened to the last caller. And I don't know if you remember the DPP has a role to play, right? And the DPP, correct me if I'm wrong, the DPP doesn't investigate, does he? Right, so the DPP will, if a prima facie case is made out in the investigation for which is brought before him, he don't really have a choice. He could ask questions, about certain things, but I don't think, that's how I seen it. I don't know.
Well, he has said before that there's not enough evidence.
Right?
He has that discretion.
Right.
Oh.
So the thing is, if based on what the police would have, because the police who investigate that, they himself investigated himself.
And they charges,
right? And they investigated that. So the question here is, what did that investigation, outside of what we saw, because clearly we didn't see anybody shooting back at the police on the video, and I didn't hear anybody say there was a chase from some Maloney to St. Augustine.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anybody say they saw anybody shooting at the police or any shootout or anything. So, I don't know if the police that that was shot at, if their car was hit, if it have any evidence of, I don't know. We don't know. But what we saw led us to believe that the occupants of the car did give up at some point in time, and they were shot at and killed, or the gentleman in question was shot at and killed when the car came to a stop, and after he gave up, which to me by itself is a violation by any international law, right? So it's interesting I would want to find out that, and it's interesting how things happen in Trinidad and Tobago. You have so much questions surrounding this, but the same people who you're questioning and investigating, right? Where was expecting, what Trinidad and Tobago was expecting to get coming out of this after the police commissioner had already made a pronouncement on the day of the incident? What Trinidad and Tobago was expecting to get out of this. I've been saying all along that this looks like a massive cover-up, and the fact that we saw what happened and it's taken so long to do the Santa thing, is they probably concocting something or doing something. I've been saying that is a strong possibility that that is what happened, and they would have created a narrative, a story. The DPP got it. Nice, quotient looking investigation, and the DPP had no choice. From what he saw, a prima facie case was made out to charge the lady on the charges, that thing, and yeah, they're beat. That's just my opinion. I didn't read much of it, but hearing the outcry, hearing the discourse, that is my position.
Well, we are not the experts. We do understand that evidence is what moves these things. But until cross-examined, evidence can be manufactured.
Well,
we both know that as well.
Exactly. So
Good.
When it go before the court, we'll hear what the court have to say, because, I mean, the lawyers on the other side, the lawyers are not stupid. The court, the judges aren't stupid either. So we'll hear how
the track record of the office of the DPP is not impressive at all.
Correct.
It is not.
But then they don't really investigate, so I don't know how that will impact.
No, I'm talking about in terms of prosecution. I'm talking about prosecution. Theirs is the responsibility to prosecute. I don't know that we have high expectations in this matter. Sadly,
I never had it.
yeah.
After
Sadly,
the police tried to shut it down, and the way they tried to shut it down, they want to get all the footage, and you know they're going to make a mockery of it.
sadly. But join us after the break on the Third Empire for more. We're going to take a break and pay some bills. Stay tuned on the Third Empire for more.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street. 919 FM.
What are you doing? Big D, big fun, KFC, so we big on the ground. We the nation, cause you don't know we wear the crown. Say what you want, KFC, so we lead in front. We are big nation, TNT and KFC, one motion.
Come to KFC, let we all have fun, and let we join together, because KFC is life. It's a big deal.
Say what you want, KFC, so we lead in front. We are big nation, TNT and KFC, one motion.
Big deal.
Aye, water is life. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. Don't waste it. Any little leak, we gon' fix it. We gon' fix it. We gon' fix it. So anyway you see a leak, the number to call is 800-4420 or 800-4426 and report the leaks. IWER George and Watson say, join the evolution to save water. Water is precious. Every drop of water counts. This message is brought to you by the Water and Sewerage Authority.
TechFlex TT Limited, the #1 computer store in Trinidad and Tobago, has all your tech needs. We have the latest computers, powerful MacBooks, and affordable Chromebooks for school and work, providing new and refurbished options to suit everyone's budget. Also, we carry a variety of printer options and ink solutions for your home and office needs. Need repairs done? Our experienced technicians can solve your tech problems. Visit us now at any of our 2 locations, Wilson Road, Scarborough, next to Royal Castle, or Penco Street, Montrose, Chagonas. Call 235-4919 for more info. TechFlex TT Limited. Affordable tech. Exceptional service.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday
from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM.
Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
Friday is for feasting. Fantastic Fridays. 5 pieces of chicken and 3 sides for just $89.95. Big value for the whole lime. Weekends start right. It must be KFC. Order now. Follow KFC Trinidad and Tobago WhatsApp channel for all the deals.
It's a whole lot of flavor wrapped up in a twist. Some of them try to rap, but they don't rap like this. With crispy KFC tenders and lettuce and carrots and shredded tortilla embedded, perfect wherever you headed. Dripping with that creamy mayo and that mambo sauce. Let me tell them one more time to get my point across. It's a craveable, crunchable, movable, functional, flavorful meal that your taste buds must endorse. KFC, crunch twist, crunch twist. None of them, they don't make it like this.
Introducing KFC's Crunch Twist, a flavorful wrap with a delicious difference for just $29.95. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
So we're back. We're back on the Street 91.9 FM. And we are joined by the third umpire. So welcome to Gilligan's Island. You're on Gilligan's Island today.
Who am I?
Well, we have a few.
Who's the skipper?
You could be the skipper. You
I
could
don't want to be the skipper.
You could be the professor.
I could be the professor?
Boy.
Or
Or you could be Gilligan.
could I be Ginger?
No, you can't be Ginger.
I can't be Ginger?
It's not that kind of show. You can't be Ginger. Unfortunately.
I want to be Mr. Hallowell.
Yes, Mr. Hallowell. He's quite a character.
Indeed, I'm Mr. Hallowell today.
I don't know if you recognize any of those actors there in the police service or anywhere there. I'm not too sure.
Yes, no.
Who would you say is the professor?
If you recognize any one of them might be office holders and high office in our beloved country.
You see, I have such a high regard for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
You do?
I have a high regard for the Trinidad and Tobago.
I like that, but what it is based on? What is that regard based on?
It is based on my first-hand experience with members of the leadership of the TTPS. So I know the TTPS leadership is not exactly not astute.
I know a lot of women who like policemen around and things.
Yeah, they love them. They love them. So I'm not here to heap too much scorn on the leadership of the organization, but I've also equally been able to say that the TTPS is a sick organization that needs intervention. I dare say HR intervention. So based on that, I don't want to characterize, for instance, my commissioner as Gilligan. Let it never be said that I said that. I don't want to call him Gilligan.
You say my commissioner.
My commissioner, Mr. Guevara, good guy. Trying his best. So I assume that we're here this afternoon because we had another Gilligan Island episode. We cannot get away from that. That this is a whole fiasco that has taken place between yesterday and today.
Do you feel we need Sherlock Holmes here?
So, you know me, Mr. Matheson complains, but suffer it to be so.
Yeah.
Amateur law person that I am.
Yeah.
The premise of causation and the principles of causation are present in this. So if it is that we can identify the beginning of a chain of causation, and we can prove the beginning of that chain of causation, it could very well lead to the young lady being accused of being guilty by joint enterprise. But the other problem is, and the common law is clear on this, don't make me go and look for the case. I'll look for it in just now. I'll go and look for the case and share it with the public. The test for proportional force has the danger passed. So the question, which has nothing to do with whether or not this young lady did something to start a chain of causation that ended in her fiance's death. Were the police in danger at the time that they fired the fatal shot? And all of the shots subsequent. And the Trinidad and Tobago is unanimous in stating that the police were in no danger at the time. So now that, and I mean this is where we have, because other people may not have sat down in some law classes like I did.
Well, we all did.
Well, we did. So we understand, but many members of the public do not understand what is at play and its validity at common law. However, we all watch these people run off the road, one wheel in the air and a man hand out of the window, and police come and light up the car. And maybe the first shot through the back glass was fatal. I haven't seen the coroner's report. But I literally see police surrounding the car, man empty the clip and put back an next clip and continue shooting into the car. And the public is outraged, and rightfully so. So for now, the police have been, and the DPP has been silent on what probably was an unlawful killing.
But
they have skipped straight to, let us charge a young lady for joint enterprise. The DPP has to be careful.
Right, so hold on. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, gentlemen and dear listeners.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to Gilligan's Island.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. Causation or not, what they are trying to do here is try to pin some guiltiness on Kaya Sealy, rightfully or wrongfully, in a bid to try to absolve the police of their wrongdoings in that scene. Because Kaya's guiltiness cannot absolve the police from not following protocols and procedures.
Correct.
And the thing is, if it is Miss Sealy was truly a suspect, from the time they find a gun in the vehicle, why is it Miss Sealy was not placed under police guard in the hospital? Why was she allowed to travel?
She was under police guard.
Nothing they say is making sense. And the thing about it is, when you add all that the police has offered together, it is all over the place. Because the commissioner said that they returned fire, they were challenged, which the video does not suggest. Their story is all over the place. And I don't know what report they give to the DPP, but this looked like an Jumans, where after some years, we the nation might have to pay for the shortcomings of the police officers when they're on duty, doing what's supposed to be protecting and serving. They never assessed the situation properly. The manner of engagement was poor. At no time did their body language suggest they were under any previous threat or current threat to justify the course of action that they took. It is ridiculous. Ridiculous. So how is it that they are able to get footage that doesn't involve police officers and run it as clips on beyond the tape and give a narrative before any investigation takes place, before any of these kind of rubbish where they come into offer? So these kind of scenarios can only be present when it's police involved. So it cannot have these things where causation is caused and the people who we seen committing heinous acts, right? are not the persons who are guilty. But I don't know what level. I wouldn't say insult Gilligan's Island to label the police as that. It is ridiculous. Because there are certain facts that you could outline from in the video and check off, which is they were fleeing from the police. That is a fact. Nobody knows why, right? The vehicle crashed. That is a fact. The police come out and open fire on the vehicle. All those things are facts.
They'll say that it's started the call in a position and led to the police opening fire on the vehicle.
I do follow the doctrine of transferred malice. I understand that. Theoretically, I mean, I'm not a ballistics expert. We'll have to see what evidence surfaces.
That's what trials are for.
Yeah. I would very much wonder at what point did... Let me pause because we want to take a call. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
We I think we already put a bad precedent here in Trinidad. We making things that should be very serious become casual. Well, you're the police. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? That is very dangerous. Then society wouldn't take anything seriously no more. And if you I show all you fellas are Denzel Washington fans. In movies of Denzel Washington, they show you where the police and the pathologists, they in bed with each other, and they could get evidence and they could erase evidence to suit. And this is what we see in here. This is not a week apart, you know. This is like 3 months apart, which is very scary. We have time to concoct a plan. We have time to add in salt, taste it, find out if it go sell, what we gonna do, move things. So we hearing the girl she get someone or something, but she not in the country. What if this girl living in our next, she's a citizen of our next country. She shouldn't have, but she really and truly birth paper is in some other country. That means the government got a right to the government and produce information to say we want to extradite one of the citizens. All right or wrong?
Correct.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what happened.
Well, we're running on assumptions here because she outside the country comfortable.
So,
for somebody who was shooting at police, she was allowed to travel. So let me just say, we had to assume now she's probably a citizen from our next country. She was born there and probably lives in Trinidad. But she is a citizen. So this is very dangerous, and the government being very casual about it. Very, very casual about it. And this could end in other countries. It's not riot now. In other countries, there was riot and burning already. Probably Trinidadians too cool. I know. This is something right at all, and no matter how we spin it, it's not correct. And coming from an organization that corrupt, it ain't looking good at all. According to you, Senior Matterson, scrap the whole plan and start it back from the ground. I'll go on with that one. I'll listen up here.
Okay. Allow me, Mr. Rolex, to share some not legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. Context. I want to, and I know you're quick with the Google, so I want you to Google R.V. Clegg, C-L-E-G-G.
Right.
Allow me to read. I'm just reading something on Wikipedia, guys.
Someone got a familiar case.
Yeah.
The foundational case for proportional force is the case of R and Clegg, 1995. The incident, which happened in 1990, Lance Corporal Lee Clegg, a British soldier deployed in Northern Ireland, was manning a checkpoint in West Belfast. A stolen car driven by a teenager, Martin Peake, with Karen Riley as a passenger, accelerated through the checkpoint, striking a soldier's knee. As the car sped away, Clegg and his patrol fired multiple rounds at the vehicle. The crucial detail: forensic evidence revealed that the final fatal shot fired by Clegg hit the back of the car after it had already passed. The checkpoint was no longer already past the checkpoint and was no longer posing an immediate threat to the lives of the soldiers. The legal battle. Clegg was initially convicted of the murder of Karen Riley. The case went all the way to the House of Lords. The ruling, the court held. Now remember, the Privy Council is our final court of appeal. So this is Trinidad and Tobago law we're talking here. The court held that while the first few shots might have been justified in self-defense or defense of others, the final shot was fired when the danger had passed. Because the force used was deemed grossly disproportionate, the plea of self-defense failed entirely. Under English law at the time, there was no middle ground. If self-defense failed because of excessive force, the verdict had to be murder rather than manslaughter. So transposing those facts into our situation, and I am a firm believer you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So at this moment, those police officers are innocent until proven guilty. But the country observed, and it will be presented in the court, that this gentleman had his hands up. His car was off the road. He was not within the line of sight. Nobody was in a line of sight to do anything to those officers who were behind and opened fire preemptively from behind. So at some point, the question, and yesterday we spoke about it, we spoke about refusing to investigate things. At some point, the DPP will have to pronounce, and the Professional Standards Bureau will have to pronounce on the proportionality of this killing. And unless, because any shots that were fired on the road, so I want to believe that maybe shots were actually fired on the road. Because I don't want to believe, just now, Senior Matterson, I don't want to believe that officers of our police force hunted down and murdered civilians in cold blood with no shots fired. I have to believe that these fellas have some kind of good faith in them, and they would never do that, and maybe a shot was really fired at them. The evidence will tell after. But that has nothing to do, it has no bearing. These charges, let the chips fall where they may, have no bearing on the fact that Trinidad and Tobago saw video footage of a surrendering man being gunned down by automatic weapons and multiple police officers.
As a green one, you make a real good case.
Thank you, sir. From you?
Yeah.
From you, sir, it's an honor.
No, you make a real good case. But the thing is, we know that there are, a lot of good senior attorneys in Trinidad and Tobago and good jurists in Trinidad and Tobago. Why are they not seeing that?
I surely see it.
Well,
I surely see it.
Is it that the DPP, the advice to charge Kayla was the only charge, or a series of charges will be coming?
3 charges she faced.
Right, we know she faced 3 charges, but are there anyone else based on the investigation?
Not at this time.
Unfortunate. I really waiting to hear, because as I've said before, Trinidad and Tobago saw one thing. And I didn't hear nobody say they saw any shooting on the highway. I didn't hear anybody say that they saw any shooting anywhere else. What we did see is on that fateful day, a car crashed, a gentleman put his hands out of the car, and 3 police officers opened fire on the car. Right? Killing that gentleman. So he was right.
With malice.
With malice. I don't know what else we could judge this case by, because we haven't seen anything. The sad thing is, 4 months later, under the cloak of darkness,
we still in a state of emergency,
an investigation took place, right? And now they are deciding to charge the lady who was shot in the car also with shooting at the police.
The police would want us to believe, until evidence corroborates their version or dismisses it, that the young lady shot at them, which caused them to return fire, killing the young man. If that was any part of any evidence, then that is the argument for transferred malice.
Indeed.
In my attempt to shoot at A, I kill B.
And that is absolutely whoever was in that car fault.
That exactly.
If they catch a bullet with me defending myself,
exactly,
I can't do nothing for that.
So
and it would be correct if that was the case.
At them
well, that is where this is going. That is where this is
Mr.
going.
Rolex, I could share what happened with you here,
Go
and
ahead.
why it's dangerous.
Go ahead.
The only people who could lay that charge against that young lady are the police officers who were present, because the only evidence, barring physical evidence, an eyewitness outside of the incident, camera footage outside of the incident, or some forensic evidence that has to stand up to some kind of scrutiny. Outside of that, the officer's testimony is good evidence. So if I write, I came under fire and I returned fire in defense of myself and others, that is good testimony. So the question here is not what the officer, because the officers, until they are deemed to be under suspicion or under suspension, the officers are the charging and the responding officers. The DPP and court and process are the ones who have to look at the case and say, we see a prima facie here, let us proceed to court or not. So in this instance, and the only way they can proceed with a manslaughter case is with the sign-off of the DPP.
Right, but I said that when I did it. That was the first thing I said.
Yeah?
Because the DPP don't do investigation.
No.
The DPP do have an investigative function.
No.
So I wouldn't be, at this time, I personally wouldn't be too hard on the DPP, because the DPP will have to go with what is before him.
No, I disagree.
Yes, I disagree as well.
The DPP doesn't take instructions from the police.
No.
He gives instructions based on his sifting of what is presented to him. So while I agree that he doesn't investigate, he has the power, as he has done. He has to tell them, rock back and come back. There are times when he tell them, no.
Yeah, but
so if he says yes,
but we don't know what they give him.
Right. So if he says yes, it is his responsibility to weigh the evidence.
Not only against the law, but against justice. And what appears to have happened here, to the eyes of the public, to the eyes of all of us who saw it, what appears to have happened is that the police may have erred in how they went about responding to the situation with deadly force. So they are now parties. They are now suspects. They are now suspected. The nation at the very least suspects them of unlawful killing.
That office is cancerous by any stretch of the imagination. Failed cases and high-profile prosecutorial collapses by the office of the DPP in Trinidad and Tobago have largely stemmed from critical staff shortages, unreasonable trial delays, missing key witness. These systematic issues have frequently forced the state to discontinue matters led to acquittals. We have, for example, here the Vicky Boudram case in 2025. After she was freed of over 100 charges after prosecutors repeatedly failed to meet court deadlines. That's the office of the DPP, that's not the police. Police extortion and corruption case collapses. A staggering 12 police officers were discharged across multiple cases after the state failed to present crucial evidence. Chris Durham murder appeal. The DPP appealed a trial judge's decision to quash a murder indictments against 3 men. The state sole eyewitness suddenly confessed to the prosecutors that his initial testimony at the preliminary inquiry was false, causing the case to crumble. And on my right, there are so many other cases. This is the office of the DPP. You could collect and investigate and bring all the evidence you want. There's somebody who sits because he has staff and higher legal reasoning that will say, listen to me, I don't think this will stand up, or go back and come again,
Or I don't think this is right.
or I don't think this is right.
Yeah, would be nice. I don't think this is right.
Good. So,
And I feel, Mr. Rollock, such a cut here, that this is something that our public authorities need to say a little more often. I don't think this is right. Because, and I mean, we operate within the ambit of the industrial court. Sometimes it straddles within the civil court. And we see so many times that public authorities are willing to stand up and carry litigation or carry unjust situations to term for sometimes years or decades even, or upwards of a decade. They know they're wrong, but they're fighting it out to the bitter end. And as public authorities, sometimes we have to sit down and say, nah, boy.
the attorney representing a 14-year-old girl who was knocked down along the priority bus route is accusing the DPP of acting irrationally for dropping the charges against the deputy police commissioner. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. You know, more than just what is available in the video, there are a couple things that just does not line up, right? The initial statements coming from the Commissioner of Police, we have to take that into consideration while we review the footage. This course of action that we reach to now, we have to take that also into consideration along with what has happened from the time of the event to now, because if it is, they are saying that it is causation, right? That caused the police to act in that manner, and this is the result. Then, one, they are claiming they find a firearm in the vehicle. If so, one of the occupants died, the other one needed medical attention. Why wasn't she under police guard? Why was she allowed to travel? If you found a gun, and I am certain that they would have done checks for gunpowder residue, and I'm saying none of what the police is saying is lining up. But if we take a critical look at the video, as soon as the shots were done fired, there were two officers who were very close up on the vehicle, right? The angle they were at, we couldn't see what they were doing, right? But their back was turned. So anything is possible at that time. There is nothing that the police has offered to say, yes, we saw this in the video, or we could conclude that this is what happened. And I'm continuing to say, if Kayasili is guilty of anything, that does not absolve the police from what we witnessed, which is a breach of protocol, procedure, and everything in terms of police work. Now, you see, the thing is, if we have to take what they're saying, now, why would you exit the vehicle in that manner without care for your own life? You just open fire, on the vehicle. Were there any consideration for if any victim was present, if there were anybody under duress in the vehicle? Any of that was considered? Not. Look at the time that they choose to engage in verbal communication. Don't move, after you done riddle out how much shots. You could have tried to make communication because the vehicle is already stationary and cannot move. But if that is the way how police treats with issues, right? They're fleeing from the police, rightfully or wrongfully, or however, that is speculation at this point. If that is okay when you're fleeing from the police, if that is okay how they treat with you, then I think I need to find somewhere else where that is not the norm. Because that is madness. And the thing is, let every person who is saying that put themselves in that position, because any one of you can make a human determination that, hey, for whatever reason previously you and the police might have beef or whatever, you might know they want to kill you, so you fleeing for whatever reason. We're speculating, right? Or you could be guilty of something and fleeing for that same reason also. But from the moment that you crash and hands is out the window, that is the course of action that they take. That is okay. That is what they want us to believe, that is okay. I tell you, they could have killed a whole ton of people off the road. That is not the course of action for policing. There are avenues where you are allowed to use that amount of force, and this was not one. Based on what we saw in the video, this was not one. So causation or not, the police have to answer for the course of action that they took, for the glaring behavior that we saw. How different is that from other youth men who are running around this country with high-powered rifle? How much different is that? You think some of them don't have causation to claim as a defense also? Rubbish. The height of rubbish. And I'm saying if you're charging Kayasili now, then you should have information where you should not have to travel. Or you only just putting something together to offer people out here. I tell you, I would be insulting Gilligan's Island to compare this TTPS to that show. Thanks for allowing me, gentlemen.
Even as the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has engaged the Director of Public Prosecutions, Roger Gaspard, regarding the alarming collapse of 2 cases of involving extortion and corruption against police officers, the Police Complaints Authority has launched investigations into the breakdown. The TTPS Corporate Communications Manager, Joanne Archie, told Guardian Media that the team of officers was liaising with the DPP on the issue and the TTPS was awaiting the outcome. Archie said the TTPS would issue a public statement. In a media release yesterday, the PCA noted that the dismissal of the 2 cases led to the discharge of 12 officers this week due to the lack of evidence and the absence of police prosecutors. The PCA highlighted that there were no prosecution witnesses, no evidence presented by the police in court. These high-profile and serious criminal matters were initially handled by the Professional Standards Bureau, made up of police. The PCA said the dismissals follow numerous referrals for disciplinary action and repeated advice given by the authority to the commissioners of police over the past 13 years. And you telling me we don't have a problem with the DPP? Look at here.
Yeah, we have a serious problem.
We have a serious problem with people.
Not just the DPP, the police, whole police service.
And I'm not talking about the DPP, the person. I was stressing the office of the DPP because it has different arms.
We have an institutional problem across the board. Our public institutions in many cases are not functioning optimally.
Quite so. Let me take this call. Good afternoon, caller.
Yeah, good evening.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good evening. Well, I still charged the lady.
Yes.
And we were told by Mr. Govera that we didn't see all the footage. We were told that, right?
Yes.
So maybe we were supposed to do what he have, what we didn't see, when to tell me what Kaya was doing before the crash.
Probably.
You understand?
Right.
Because he's saying that thing. But this thing here is strange, very strange. But I'm still waiting to see what his part of the video that we didn't see have on it. And I'm holding into that. Maybe then we might see what Kaya was doing. Well, have a nice night.
Thank you, Paul.
It's not relevant.
But exactly. Because we're dealing with the end.
Yeah, where the shots were fired.
Right? Where the shots was fired. Where the man was killed. The man wasn't killed when Kaya was shooting. Let's say she was shooting at him. He wasn't killed when Kaya was shooting at him.
Next call. Good afternoon, caller.
Hello, good evening, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, listening to the program this evening on this whole situation. See, we have a serious problem in Trinidad today.
Yes.
The people in office, plenty of them not being held accountable for their action. And based on that, we have a serious problem here. I don't know, I guess for us as the persons on the ground who having conversations like this, I think most we could do. Because whatever action had to be taken in a higher place. And it's painful for the average citizen to see what is going on. Because you really can't do nothing about it. That situation with the DPP office, and as you go through the history and the many different matters that fall through, one of those matters that fall through was high profile also, is the situation with Anna Logan.
Correct.
And Ramdeen. That matter stand up in the court. All we know is he said a discontinuation of the matter. He never came out to explain what it means as discontinuation, whether that can be recharged, whether that's the end of the matter. We have no clue as the average citizen what it means. And you're seeing where people being paid in Trinidad and Tobago in high positions and have no accountability to the citizens of this country. It's painful. Gentlemen, you have a good evening.
Thank you, caller. Senior, you were saying?
No, I mean, you know, everything you study at law school, where, with regards to causation and murder and that kind of thing, when you listen to this case, when you see what you saw, and when you observe, when you digest what you saw, and when you see the outcome of it now, it creates a kind of cognitive dissonance. Because nothing is making sense here.
No, it making sense to me. I will tell you something though. What we have to understand is the entire crime that the officers are under suspicion of, and right now the nation has the officers under suspicion of unlawful killing. That exists in our video that starts when the car turned the corner and ends with police surrounding.
That's what we're talking about.
So
we're talking about what happened before. I'm not thinking about what happened before.
What happened before have nothing to do with it. You know what? If the officers, I die how I stop. If the officers say we were under fire, prove it in court. I believe you, pa. I'm not here to disprove that. But no matter what you say about what happened an hour before, 45 minutes, about 2 hours, what intelligence you had the day before, the entire incident that we all witnessed was just a few seconds. I can't come around a corner, end up in a drain, gow, gow, gow. That is the whole incident there. And if it is that in that clip, a firearm was not discharged through that vehicle towards that officers, that is an unlawful killing at law. If it is that we apply our Clegg.
Well, the caller raised a serious point that I didn't even consider. For you to say Kai fired at officers means that you found a firearm. The ballistics might go after, but you found a firearm. If you found a firearm on the scene, she was left to go free. She left the country a month ago. She was not held.
But from my
That's
information,
very, very, very instructive.
If
you found a firearm on the scene, we will get to the shooting and the ballistics after.
That's possession. That's possession.
That never...
She was supposed to be in the infirmary in the prison.
Even without ballistics,
yes,
that in itself, given the context, doesn't explain to me why she in Manhattan. You understand?
Yeah.
So to adduce now that she fired on the police, causing them to return fire, in which Joshua was killed, is quite after the fact. Don't talk about the video. Because when you watch the video, one would wonder at what point. Because I didn't see any police taking cover. You don't hear all the audio too clearly. But in my layman's view, there was no indication. You know when police under fire.
Anybody under fire.
If the car crashed.
Yeah.
Where the car crashed. She had to be John Wick to fire at the police. Where she would have been. Where the vehicle was. In the dream. Remember, he was the person on the driver's side.
So in Trinidad and Tobago, we do left-hand drive mostly. So I am Joshua. Senior Matterson is Kaya.
No, next way. Senior Madison is Joshua.
Is Kaya?
Yeah, the driver is right hand.
Okay. Right.
Right?
So
So you would have been
So that means now, I don't know if I'm right-handed or left-handed.
right.
But my targets are behind me. Senior Matterson, tire up in the air, so he's slightly
Right.
elevated. And he wind down the window fast. Like, hey fellas, I'm done.
And you fired the police behind
I
you.
down in the drain, so. And I know shooting over my shoulder.
Yeah, like a boss.
Yeah. With an accordion on the hand. I shoot it with my non-dominant hand. And I doubt.
She probably killed Joshua.
Well, I don't know.
And I doubt McGill is a champion match shooter or a combat shooter. It have police and soldiers can shoot left-handed. So what kind of training this young lady rocking with?
I don't
to
know.
engage a gunfight down in a drain. You just crash.
The kind parking it crash.
And this girl was pregnant too.
I can't remember. But this song like a movie because we just only see that in John Wick or the Denzel movies.
That Kill Bill version.
Yeah,
Where Denzel was named
No,
Bill.
Denzel could do something like that,
in which movie?
Down in the drain.
In which movie?
No, from
Gladiator?
the video I saw,
Yeah.
the police was behind.
Bruce Willis might
Bruce Willis. He might pull off something like that. Yeah. And hit somebody in the middle by the temple somewhere, right? But from my recollection, they were behind because you could have seen Joshua's hand.
Yeah.
Easing to the side.
Two hand. He was diving on the window,
So she would have had to fire behind the back glass, Lord knows seeing what. The back rear glass or the back driver glass.
Poor girl, you know how to use a gun.
I don't know what she could see from that angle either, eh?
The bottom line, Mr. Rollock, and
Yes.
we speculate in it.
Yeah, because there's Gilligan's Island. We could do that.
And also remember that the police are correct not to prosecute or defend that case in the court of public opinion.
Let me get this caller.
Yes.
Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, Jonathan. I want you to follow me here.
Go ahead.
All of those male and females
Yes.
who wear that uniform, they were like you and I and all the listeners, right?
Right.
Good. And they would be talking all the same things as sensible as everybody who's calling is talking, right?
Go ahead.
And they would all have been talking and they would have witnessed. And if any one of them were your friends, and some of y'all who have friends who join and wearing a uniform, you know your friends, they would have been agreeing with you about everything that you see so far, right?
Correct.
Okay. And now they're wearing the uniform. All of a sudden, you can't hear nothing from none of them. Think about that. What's that telling you? Hello?
Go ahead, caller. We listen.
No, I want to go through this with you. What does that tell you? If you have friends who you know for years, and you know people, and this is so simple, they would all be agreeing with you, but you're not hearing nothing from none of them.
That means they do
All of a sudden, they're thinking very different now.
Correct.
Right. So the question now becomes, how come all of a sudden they're not thinking like just simple common sense about something we see? Right? Ponder on that. But a famous judge once said, you may not be able to describe obnoxious or profane behavior, but you will know it when you see it. So are you seeing obnoxious and profane behavior in front of you right now? Talk to me. Are you?
I would say so, yes.
Good. Now, I want to take you back because the people just hard-headed, and they may not like me saying so. Yes, the people hard-headed. The people only believe that what they think is the way things is supposed to be. So here is what. There was a Rasta man. He had a job. Minister of, from the Red Jersey side. Minister of
National Security.
Good. And the people keep saying that he's not doing his job. But his boss, who know what his job description is, gave him that job and never fired him. He never removed him. You agree with me?
That's facts. Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, Colin.
Good. That means the job that the Rasta man was doing, and the Rasta man is a very informed fella, right? Very informed, very articulate, all of that. And his boss never removed him from the job because he and his boss know that the job that he was put to do, he was doing the job and doing it well. But the people did not think that he was doing the job that he's supposed to do. You see the disconnect between the people and those people? Now you have to ask yourself, and I'm going to say this, no government, there is no government in any part of the world that is for seeing and taking care of the people. All governments are corporations, they are businesses. And doing their business is the priority. Good? The education system that you are buying into is not to educate you. It is to make you become a puppet and make you become more compliant. That is why they say your colonizer will never educate you. And the problem that we have right now is that all those who have masters and that they are holding all these positions, and every single day of the week for years, everybody complaining. They're talking about how, the people and them are not being made to be accountable. So, ain't it those masters qualified people? But what you have to understand is that those who have masters, they only mastered their master's training. Let me say that again. Those who have masters, they have only mastered their master's training. And they are doing the bidding of the master. And the colonizer, who is the master, the colonizer, he would have never educated them. Because educated people do not do what we see is taking place. Good? You following me so far?
Go ahead.
Am I making sense to you?
We follow.
Good. So what do you expect to have happen right now? Exactly what they have everybody discussing as though they have a masters. Everybody want to appear as though, they don't know what is going on. Come on, you know what's going on. The question is, when are you going to stop abrogating your responsibility and govern your affairs as a people? That's the question. Right? And here is what. The same Rastaman, when questioned about his duties, you know what he said one day? My duty is not to make the people feel safe and secured. You remember him saying so?
I remember the quote.
You remember? Okay. So how could he, being so eloquent, right, tell you that his duty is not to make the people feel safe and secure. Well, if they didn't get that, then stick breaking all your ears. And remember, it says to serve and protect, but it never said whose interest to serve and protect. It certainly is not yours. It's not you, the people, interest. Okay? That is why you have what you have going on right now after you all saw what you saw. You think you understand?
Understood, caller.
Good. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, caller. I see KFC is calling.
All right. Problems. Plenty problem.
You're late, sir. You're late.
Hey, good afternoon, the three umpires. Marcusson and the Black Bobby. We making you the commissioner of police, but this commissioner of police only failing the nation. You running this country on that state of emergency.
I flying the flag at half mast right now. I'm black.
But that call they making the contribution. You only asking or they agree? Or they agree? You fill them a dashboard puppies or make your contribution. You know the rest of you talking about? The former minister secretary pay them side. Dirty dread hands. But them gone already, you know. So we can say they be talking about the government present right now. Who in charge?
But somebody take a pity of you in PNM Sports.
No.
That wasn't you?
Bobby, my brother. That's my brother. Whatever bless you, can I be drumstick?
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
You're on the man with that PNM Sports talk. Line. That was good. He couldn't come back from that one. What? Were you at the sports, sir?
Well, I at the sports?
Yeah.
I should have gone.
You should. Well, I mean, you didn't go.
Yeah.
You didn't get invited?
No, I didn't get invited.
You don't have to get invited to that sports.
You don't have to get. You don't have to have a party card.
I would like. I would like my.
If I had time, I might have gone.
I would have liked if my PNM friends had called me and said, Gerard, we really like it.
They're not your friends.
Oh yes, you was a member of the Heliconia Foundation, not so? Correct?
Me, sir?
I'm just trying to remember. I know Simoya was.
As a member.
Dr. Simoya? Simoya, we're finding out your business skill.
I am a member of Atlas Caribbean Corporate Services Limited. Anybody wants to register a company in the US, give me a call.
Okay. So you were not in the sports?
No, but nobody invite me.
Okay.
Nobody invite me. If somebody invite me, I go. Somebody say, Gerald, boy, long time we see you, but come on, enjoy the
You did not run that race with Senator Alwari?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't invited.
It wasn't you.
If I was invited, though, I would have accepted the invitation. For sure. For sure, I'd have been there.
You didn't march?
I didn't march, I didn't go. But if I was invited to go, then you point.
You would have gone, you'd have gone.
If any one of my PNM friends had said, yo, Gerard, our PNM friends are great people in the PNM. Gerard, boy, we're looking out for you, boy. Come, boy.
So you move on both sides. You are fluid.
My brother,
you're a fluid citizen.
My brother. I mentor my friend. I'm a proud citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And patriots wear all different kind of colors.
And once you get an invitation, you go in.
That's correct.
So you use one of them. You don't care who dead. You just go in because
somebody
dead.
Somebody invite me.
Cricks and coffee, and you go in.
Don't worry with the crick. I want to eat nothing. I want to drink nothing.
You
call
go in.
me, Gerard. We want to see you, boy.
And you go in.
I will go.
Well, we await more information concerning this turn of events.
Certainly.
With Miss Seeley. Again, there seems to be more questions than answers. With Kai Seeley, with the shooting. There seem to be more questions than answers. I haven't heard anything about the officers. I hear about Joshua who died.
Yeah.
We hear about Miss Seeley who got damaged, his partner. Like they alone, we hear about the car damage.
Don't let us. I don't want to cast aspersions.
Yes.
But I want to point out something though in the little time we have.
Go ahead.
In order for you to be extradited You have to be competent to stand trial. You have to be medically fit to be transferred. This young lady was injured in a police shooting a short while ago. She is in the US. She may or may not be in the physical state to be extradited, and based on the tragic turn of events, she may not be mentally competent to stand trial. So if she does not come back voluntarily, she may be in the US and she may claim asylum and all sorts of other situations, which may mean that the reality is that this young lady may be arrested a long time in the future, if not at all, if at all. And while this is going on,
we don't know that. We don't know that.
Well,
and for what she's charged for, we don't even know if that those handles of criteria.
If there's a warrant for her arrest, the government of Trinidad and Tobago can make application for extradition in the US. In the same way that when there are warrants for the arrest of people wanted for crimes in the US government makes applications for extradition of suspects to stand trial in the different jurisdictions. So at this moment, a legal battle has started. Because it is quite certain that if the DPP office has raised charges and she's not in Trinidad and Tobago, that the DPP's office will begin to make applications to Interpol and to the US police for the extradition of this person.
Her attorney is talking, and I don't want us to preempt anything. We didn't hear anything like that. So that is down the road, right? Because her attorney is talking. He said that she's distressed by the news and she's surprised.
Senior Matters in 40 seconds down. Take us out.
Yeah, yesterday we dealt with that very important in the first stages of the program. That is the issue with Tobias, the young Tobias who was killed in Tobago. And today we dealing with never a dull moment in Trinidad and Tobago, by the way. We dealing with another very serious pronouncement. But this was an ongoing issue 4 months ago. So it is what we do on this program, and certainly we will continue doing that, observing the happenings in Trinidad and Tobago through the news, and we'll do that on Monday when we come back out.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 911.